Hey cruisers, I'm Sherry with CruiseTipsTV.com. Hope you're having a wonderful day. We have started calling this series Cruise Questions Today because we have decided during Vlogtoberfest, our annual vlogging event, to bring back this Q&A and see how all of you like it. If you're enjoying this in October and you want us to keep doing this forever, where we do maybe 1 or 2 Q&A sessions a week, make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave us a comment down below that says, yes, I love the Q&A, or nah, I don't need your questions and answers. Whatever it is that you need or you want, let us know, but don't forget to subscribe. I hate having to say that, but I feel like 65% of the people who watch our channel are not subscribed, and that is a fact. So we need you to hit that button. All right. So today we're going to be answering cruise questions that have come in our comment section over the last week. The first one comes from Yuki Okami, who is going on a Carnival cruise out of Texas to the Western Caribbean and says, what tips do you have for me on Carnival? I found out from Yuki that Yuki's going to the Western Caribbean, specifically Cozumel, Costa Maya, and Belize. So I want to tell Yuki a couple of things. Number one, pack cool, comfortable cotton clothing. It's going to be hot, but you're gonna have a blast. Here are some excursion ideas for you in those ports. For Cozumel, we love the beach clubs. We go to Nachi Cacombe sometimes. We've also been to Mr. Sancho's. Nachi Cacombe is much nicer and much more exclusive. Mr. Sancho's is a little bit more crowded, fun water toys that you can play with, like out in the water. But we're also very excited next time we go to Cozumel to try a new beach club to us called Paradise Beach. So look into those beach clubs. Know that we've done Nachi Cacombe several times and we love it. If you're looking for an all-inclusive, relaxing beach day, we think you're gonna love that. In Costa Maya, another fun beach club excursion idea. Go to Maya Chan. They've recently reopened. Check out, just type in Maya Chan Cozumel, Google it. They send transportation to pick you up near the cruise port. You have to walk out of the cruise port area and then they drive you down past Mahawal to a private little beach. It's beautiful. Hopefully the sargassum issue in the water will clear up. There is a brown yucky seaweed in the water in many areas down in the Costa Maya area. I don't know if that's fixed at Maya Chan, but it's still a great place to go for the day. In Belize, we highly recommend one of 3 things. Any kind of a reef snorkel, getting out on the reefs. It is unbelievable. They have little private islands that they'll take you to after you snorkel, and you can have lunch and drinks. That's great. River tubing is great, and also going to see the ruins. Super fun things to do in Belize. Just make sure you book an excursion. You don't want to just be walking around in Belize. There's not much to do, and it's not really all that safe. Also in Belize, just be prepared for a very long tender ride. It's long. It's unusually long. Next up, Brittany W. saw our packing, what did she see? She saw our cruise mistakes video where we said we did all these things wrong, but then we got a few things right. One of the few things that we got right was our shoes. And she's like, well, what did you do? What shoes did you pack that were so great? So we're gonna link to that packing video in the description of this video so all of you can see what shoes we packed on our last cruise. But I'm also going to tell you what types of shoes we pack for every cruise because it's almost always the same for our family. For warm weather destinations, everyone in our family packs a pair of flip-flops, sandals, the stuff you wear around all the time, whether it's by the pool deck or out on port. We also pack a pair of sneakers or athletic shoes, all of us. Then we pack what we call dinner shoes. For me, those are wedge sandals. For my husband, they're nicer sneakers. And then we all pack formal night shoes. A formal night shoe for me is like a glittery pump, and for my husband, it's a nice formal shoe. So anyhow, all of that is in that packing video, but if you want to see the shoes themselves, they're towards the end of that packing video. You can check that out. We had yet another question about shoes this week. Isn't that funny? Is this like the shoe episode? Are we just talking about shoes? Maybe we are. Brittany said, I'm surprised you don't pack your shoes into bags in your suitcases. Well, sometimes we do, Brittany. I want to talk about this for a second. What do we do with our shoes? Because shoes are kind of dirty, right? We're stuffing them in your suitcase and they're kind of like, you think about dirt getting on things. And sometimes we actually will take our shoes and put them in a shoe bag. The problem with that is it takes up a lot of space because shoes have to be kind of Jenga'd into a suitcase. So I usually like to just put one shoe at a time. A great hack, if you can't do that and you're grossed out by the bottom of your shoes touching stuff, is to buy disposable shower caps at the dollar store and wrap each shoe in a shower cap. I'm talking about the really thin plastic shower caps. You can do that. What I did, Brittany, on my last cruise, and the reason I didn't actually pack them in bags is because I used 409 on the bottom of every single one of my shoes before I packed them. I wanted my shoes, like my sneakers and stuff, to get a little bit cleaned up. While I was cleaning up my sneakers, I was like, I'm just gonna take a Clorox wiper, a 409, and just clean every shoe. I literally cleaned every shoe in my family before I put it in the suitcase. So that, my friend, is why I did not put my shoes in a bag this time. So I love that we're talking about shoes. It's so unique. Our next question comes from Kristen. I'm gonna try to say your last name right, Kristen. I think it's Schwendeman. Kristen says, I've got 2 cruises booked, Alaska 2023 and Mexico 2024. Both are on the same ship, Discovery Princess. Any thoughts? I didn't realize it was the same ship. Kristen. No, it's Kirsten. Kirsten Schwendeman. I think it's genius that you're going on the same ship twice, because the first time, you're gonna get the lay of the land. So when you're in Alaska, in 2023, you're gonna find out your favorite spots on the ship. You're going to learn where everything is. And right when you're about to get off the ship, you're gonna be like, oh, I kind of know my way around now. Then when you go back to Mexico in 2024, it'll feel like an old friend to you. You'll be back on and you'll be like, I recognize all this stuff. It's so great. It's a beautiful thing. Enjoy it, cherish it. Do not feel bad about your decision. I think that that's terrific, and you're gonna have so much fun. Repeating ships is not a bad thing. Enjoy it. Oh, and besides, Discovery Princess, come on, it's a beautiful new ship. And boy, is it beautiful. You're gonna love it. David R. said, does Carnival accept birth certificates as a means to travel? I got my passport, but my partner does not. David, you gotta talk this person into getting a passport. I'm sorry, I'm very opinionated about this, because here's the truth. The truth is, on some cruises on Carnival, which are closed loop cruises where you leave from one port, usually in the United States, come back to another port, usually in the United States, you know, like maybe Caribbean cruises, you can travel with other means like a birth certificate and photo ID. However, this is an extremely risky and bad idea in my opinion, because let's just say you have a medical emergency in one of the ports and you are forced to stay there for medical reasons, or you miss the ship. You will have to get an emergency passport. Do you know how much that will cost you? A lot. And you will be stranded there until you can fly yourself home with that emergency passport. It's not worth it. Have your friend get the passport. We just don't want to go there, okay? Trust me on this. I know I'm opinionated. I'm sorry, but I've heard horror stories and I don't want you to get stuck somewhere without a passport. Our last question for today is from Kathleen Ryder. She said, I noticed probably on my Instagram stories that you tipped room service. Can you tell me the suggested amount? We're going on Princess in 2 weeks. All right. We talked a lot about tipping in a recent episode too here, Kathleen, and this is a very private and personal decision. Tips are included in your cruise, so you don't have to tip anyone. But for room service, this is how I typically handle this situation. If they're bringing me a single coffee, a single drink, I might just give them $1. It's one item, right? Like on Princess, you might have things delivered to your room a lot because you've got the medallion and you may have a drink package where you have free drink delivery on the medallion. You don't have to tip them a lot of money every time. If I'm getting a full food room service order, I usually give them $2 or $3 for each order. They will be elated that you're doing that because again, you guys, the tips are already included in your cruise. You do not have to do this. This is optional. If you want to give them $5 or $10, go ahead. But honestly, I usually give them like $3 per order. If I'm doing just a single drink to the room, I usually give them $1. You don't have to do anything though. Tipping is such a hot topic on our channel right now. Probably 1 in every 10 comments or questions has been about tipping on a cruise. So we're gonna keep trying to bring this subject to the forefront of what we do, but it's so hard, you guys, because tipping is so personal and you have to make those decisions. So anyhow, we hope you've enjoyed this. Like I mentioned earlier, we want you to subscribe. We're gonna put some resources in the description of this video, so check those out. Make sure you're following us over on Instagram too, but please just hit that subscribe button today. And until next time, we'll see you on the high seas. Bye-bye.